Hello. Today I'm going to share with you my story in recovering from CPTSD in regards to my femininity, my self-worth, and my value, and how you can apply these messages and what I've learned over so many years in regards to this, so that if you're healing from trauma, if you're recovering, if you want to feel confident in your femininity, if you want to really apply this, you want to feel good about yourself, you want to heal, and you want to attract your soulmate, my sincere hope and wish is that this helps you. This is a real story. I don't think I've ever been this vulnerable in here and in my channel. And come along. I want to share with you this story, and I know that the messages that I'm going to share with you could be pivotal in your healing journey, both in healing your femininity and also in attracting your soulmate. I also have at the end an opportunity, if you're healing, like I said, from trauma, if you want to embody more self-acceptance, more regalness in your feminine energy, and you want to feel good, you want to manifest love, a miracle by the end of the year, or you want to have an amazing date, or you want to meet a soulmate by, I'm getting even Thanksgiving. Yeah, I have an amazing event that's happening during the Thanksgiving week, and also not on Thanksgiving, that's to boost your faith and your magnetism power, and one that's starting also next week to attract your soulmate with ease. I am Nicole Elissa. I am a love coach, femininity coach, and I'm also an intuitive. As you can see here, I have a beautiful picture of an angel that I painted. I'm a big believer in angels, the angels of love, the archangels, Archangel Sandalphon, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. They've all helped me in my journey. Now, while I am going to mention the angels, I want you to know that my work and my healing modalities, I mentioned love, I mentioned the angels, but they're also really grounded in healing your nervous system. So I offer both sides of the healing aspect, the spiritual and also the nervous system, subconscious reprogramming. And by working with me, you can either do one or the other as you choose, or both. And it's all good. There's a reason why I've looked into different layers of healing. So I don't want to feel any pressure today in sharing this story. I've been noticing that I've been feeling pressure to have to say things in a quick way based on what's happening on the algorithm, and in a fear, quote unquote, fear of people missing out on what I have to say, and the importance of the message, but I cannot control that. I don't want to control that. And I want to speak from the heart, be very humble about this, and praying and hoping that this helps you and supports you in your healing journey and in your manifestation journey of your soulmate and feeling like a goddess. All right. With that being said, and I'm a Christian, and I also work with different, walks of faith with all love and respect. And this event that I'm talking about helps you regardless of your faith. In fact, I welcome it. Now, with that being said, I wanted to talk about healing from CPTSD. For those of you that don't know, CPTSD stands for complex post-traumatic disorder. And I've had to heal from, I've been healing, and I've turned the corner on CPTSD. I would say I've almost completely, like I'm on that final round. I've been coming out of it. I've regained my sense of my identity, and I'm actually feeling stronger and better. I was talking with a friend recently, and I said that I feel better than I have in the last maybe 15 years, and which is saying a lot. I have a deeper sense of my identity that is unshakable, shakeable, and unbreakable, and it's one that's rooted in love and positivity. So CPTSD stands for that. And there's PTSD, and then there's CPTSD. PTSD is when you've gone through like a traumatic event. CPTSD is when you've experienced several, maybe like in a row, right? I had years of traumatic experiences, even from childhood. I would say that I had like a giving grace period, and I sometimes laugh to support myself. It's not that I'm not taking it seriously. It helps me, and it helps soothe my nervous system during some years while I was in college. But why is this so relevant to femininity? Well, I'm a love coach, and then I'm a femininity coach, and I find that the things that I'm going to relate to you could be relevant and for all women, okay? For all women. So when I was growing up, I've experienced several traumatic events. And one of the things that I noticed, as you know, if you follow me, is, and I invite you to follow me and to stick around so you get more insights into femininity and healing even the shadow, the unconscious of the feminine. So ever since I was a little kid, I believe when I was maybe 4 or 5, I was told that nobody would love me except a specific parent, okay? That nobody would love me. I was told that one of the parents was cheating and they didn't care about me when I was like 5 or 6. I was told also, because this was going on both ends in different degrees, right? I was always bullied in a way by my parents. And the gist of it all is that I, as a kid, did not know how to separate. I was internalizing the comments that my parents made towards me or their absence as something to mean about me, right? So I then started to experience bullying in school. And the bullying in school was one time hello there, I am sharing how to heal from CPTSD regarding your femininity. And I'm sharing my experiences. So please share it with your girlfriends if you feel like this resonates. So I remember getting the highest grade, like 100, right? And the entire school failing. And then I was bullied by the principal, by the teachers, by my classmates. I was made to feel wrong and bad for doing well. And so what I realized over time and what I've experienced over time was a lot of jealousy, a lot of naysaying, a lot of criticism towards my being when I was very vulnerable as a kid. And I never had somebody to teach me or to train me to not internalize people's shortcomings or to assess when people are externalizing their own limiting beliefs and they throw it onto you. I unfortunately had parents who would externalize their limiting beliefs or their limitations onto me at a very early age. I was never taught how to swim or to use a bicycle or anything like that. But whenever I would ask my parents, one of them would say, well, your dad doesn't want to do it, and making me feel bad. And then when I would ask my dad would say things, oh, it's because of you, because you're so hard to teach. One time, even my dad told me when it was about time to teach me how to drive, he was like, well, I'm going to have to teach you how to drive an automatic car because you're not going to be able to know how to drive like a manual car. And I was like, that was so insulting. And by the way, I always had great grades. I was a good student. Like there was no reason for them to insult my intellect, but I'm sure many of you have experienced stuff like that. So in overall, I grew up with a mother who would compare my hair to other girls, always made me feel like their hair was better than mine. If somebody was a friend of mine, she would make some sort of insinuation that they were better than me. She would use me to make her look good. And but at the same time, she would always make me feel like I was a disappointment to her. So I'm feeling like I want to tear up, but it's good that I'm opening up and sharing this with you. And it's almost like I have so much to say, but I don't want this to be like a super long video. So if you do want me to hear more about the stories, I can totally share it with you in another time. Just let me know in the comment section. The thing is that it was so hard to me because on one end I was doing good, but I was being insulted by my parents, making me feel like I was dumb and I was stupid and that I was hard to love. Maybe you relate with that. Constantly, when I tell you that I never receive a compliment from my parents, I would say one time my dad actually wrote something nice for me when I graduated from high school, and he read it in front of people, and I just couldn't receive it because I never heard a positive comment, about who I was from him. I'm not saying that my dad didn't love me, because I feel like my dad started to mature maybe right around before the time that he passed away. I think my dad had anger issues. I think my dad had self-esteem issues. and he would take it out onto people. Now, with that being said, I was so surprised when I heard those words that I didn't know how to receive them. And I felt like I was being used. You know, I'm not saying that that's what was happening. I'm saying, because I do feel like my dad loved me, he just didn't know how to express it. And I think he did make choices that he later regretted, because I did start to see some elements of maturity, emotional. Like I think he started to step in more into the role of a father, but it was like a couple years before he passed away. Hi there, I'm sharing my story on how my journey in healing CPTSD regarding my femininity, my worth, and my value, and how this can help you, or if whoever you feel like could really connect with it. So with that being said, I do feel like my dad matured a little bit right before he passed away. But at the same time, like I said, I never received a compliment from my parents. I actually had to almost beg my mother when I was 20 something to ask her, hey, you have never said anything positive about me. Never. Give me something positive. And I remember her telling me, hey, like, you are smart. And it took her a while. I'm actually, like I said, I do feel like the crunch of the time of sharing this, which I shouldn't. But it took her a while to just tell me that I was smart. I actually received more insults from my parents, and the bullying that I received in school, even for doing well. So it was all very confusing in my mind. And you would not believe this, but part of the bullying that I constantly experienced was men acting like they were better than me. And here's the thing about CPTSD, and maybe you experience this too. Even if it's not PTSD, when you're a kid, it's very hard. It's very hard for a kid ages 0 to 7, sometimes to 10, to, like, when they notice that there's chaos or a problem outside of them with their parents, the kid is just experiencing too much stress in their brain and in their energy to think, oh, something's going on with my parents. I'm totally cool and chill, and they feel separate from their parents. A lot of the times, kids, what they do is that they internalize it, and they feel like, well, if I change myself, then my parents are going to treat me better, then I'm safe, because the idea that their parents are not safe or that they're not right is too much of a stress for them psychologically and at the level of their nervous system, because it feels, well, my parents are the ones that are feeding me and giving me safety, so if they're not well, I'm not well. That's too much stress. This is what I understand and what I'm sharing intuitively, what I've researched over time and years, right? So that's very hard. And it took me years to realize that I had parents that were competing with me, that didn't want to see me shine. It took me years. It took me years not to internalize sometimes even their to not realize that I was internalizing some of their self-loathing. Because who as a parent would insult their kid in such a way and accuse them at ages 6 or 7 that they could never learn how to ride a bicycle or do something right? I later realized that some of that had to do with my dad's own shortcomings. He would try something and he would stop. He would do it once and stop. But when I would ask him again, he would insult me in a way, right? And I do believe that for my dad's end, there were some elements of racism, like as a black man, and some of the things that he grew up in, and some of his own shortcomings. But that's the thing. As a kid, you don't know how to defend yourself, how to separate yourself from it. And it just became very confusing for me. And what I've realized living in a Latin country is that there's a lot of inferiority complex, right? Mixed with, I need to be superior. I was talking about this with a friend. We're a lot in Latin American countries, and I'm curious to know in your countries what it is like. But it's like, well, this country is better than this. I have to be the other one. I have to be better. But sometimes that desire, that's why I say sometimes the desire to be the best, deep down, can come from a feeling and insecurity of being inferior, not good, or fear of not being seen. And this is the thing that we have to understand about manifestation. Where our come from means so much, because if we are trying to manifest abundance and prosperity, but we're coming from insecurity and lack, okay, we can leak that consciousness in the things that we're doing and the results that we're getting. And life, God's source, is loving on you so that you can heal that inferiority complex, etc., or scarcity in your mind or in your energy about who you are, so that you are in an energy of winning and an energy of receiving. So as I was saying, I had an interesting experience when I started to like guys. I had guys that would act like they were better than me, who in my face, if somebody asked them, hey, do you like her? Because, everybody would say the same thing, like, he totally likes you, or this or that. And then when they would ask him, he would be like, her? Nah, even in my face. So I had a continuous experience of people presenting themselves to be better than me, being extremely, I'm getting to say, cocky. And it didn't make any sense, but it was similar to what I saw growing up. I just didn't know how to totally separate it. And that's a key element of CPTSD. CPTSD or PTSD tends to internalize the situations and instead of externalizing them. Sometimes what can happen, and you can be in either side of the spectrum, is you can either internalize or you can be externalizing, or a little bit of both. And what I notice is that sometimes people lack the self-awareness. They don't want to feel bad about themselves, or I'm getting to say experience ridicule, so they externalize and they hurt and they lash out. I wouldn't be surprised if I've ever done that, in my life, specifically when I was a teenager. So part of the thing here is and I noticed this in schools, I noticed this in high school, it was always a matter of who is who. High schools have a hierarchy and you're trying to know where you fit in. And sometimes these hierarchies teach you to put other people down. And one of the things that I see when it comes to feminine consciousness, if we look at the shadow of the feminine, is you're not totally feeling safe on the inside. So therefore, you have to put another woman down in order for you to feel good. For those of you that are joining, I am sharing with you how I've been healing and how I'm almost done, thank God, healing CPTSD regarding my femininity, my self-worth, and my value. I hope that this connects with you. So this is critical because there's a lot, I'm getting to say there could be a lot of meanness in regards to this. And a lot of loneliness as well, because you're not feeling safe, like somebody's going to love you or cherish you for who you really are. So I've seen, I'm getting to say, I had even in a situation once where I was a teenager and I had pimples and I was really looking forward to a wedding. And one of my parents said to me, I put all my savings into getting this dress for the wedding. And one of my parents said to me, you're not coming because, you're going to make me look bad just by having your face with all those pimples. And they left me crying while they went away to enjoy the wedding. So one of the things that I realized is that all of us, when we're having a hard time internalizing and getting, part of it is because we might have grown up with authoritarian parents who made us feel they were always like, you're a bad kid if you do this, you're a bad girl if you do this. And as women, we've been raised so much with being good girls and you have to behave to attract things, that so much there's this fear of being quote unquote bad. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm talking deep layers of energy in the psychology of the feminine, okay? Deep layers. So when sometimes people are like, no, Nicole, none of that is true for me. And when I look at what's happening in the middle of the onion for them, that's what's happening. Because some of these things are completely unconscious to you unless they're worked at. And then the energy starts to come up and you can really heal and let it go and shake it off, and just pass the page on it. So you don't want to be bad. You don't want to be bad, so you externalize. You don't want to be the lesser option, I'm getting to say, so you externalize. You don't want to be this, so you chase somebody. So part of what it takes to regulate and what it took to regulate in my case and when I've helped my clients is, or from PTSD or from anxiety and stress regarding this, is a deep sense of safety, because you need to feel safe on the inside. And stop internalizing or exteriorizing your fears, okay? So what happened is that being in a space like that always made me feel like I had to be perfect. I really didn't realize that I had parents who were competing with me. And the common thing that I constantly experienced was my parents telling me, insinuating that there was something wrong with me, some sort of shaming energy towards me, that being around me was shameful. I actually believe, looking back, that I was manifesting this energy of men being ashamed of me because my mom would tell me, well, if you go out looking like that, your dad is going to feel ashamed of being with you. Growing up, my dad never said this to me, never said this. But hearing this as a kid, I feel like that trickled down, and I started to attract and see a lot of men who would act like they were above me, you know, and it was very confusing for me. Obviously, I was able to heal from that, right? But it was very scarring, okay? It was very scarring. I always had the secret fear of a man being ashamed of being with me, because I had experiences of the guys that I liked in my face saying, with her, nah, in my face. I understand that this person was trying to save face or to try to find himself in that scale. I forgive that. I release that. It's like people were just trying to find their place in the hierarchy. Now, granted, I had men acting that way even after high school. I'm talking after college, like 26 years old. I'm not kidding. So, all right, with that being said, like I said, I laugh because it helps me soothe my nervous system. It was very challenging. So I felt like I had to be perfect all the time because I was never told that I was good, right? Or I was only good if I made somebody else look good. So then I started to meet friends. I started to understand more about the world of self-development, but that also felt, because it was a lot of female energy, and a lot of the women around me, like, we had similar energies, and it was an energy you have to be perfect. You can never do anything wrong, meaning if you make a mistake, shameful, you know, like you can't make a mistake. You're not perfect. You are irresponsible if you don't get it right. Like, so much shaming and also bullying. I didn't feel safe being myself. It was a constant repetitive energy. And I also experienced tremendous layers of betrayal, even from family members who treated me like I didn't matter to them at all. So I just felt really alone. Like, right when I started to connect more with my dad, that's when he passed away. Because I do feel like my dad started to mature, and I feel like actually he would have protected me from all of that. But the thing is that the competition energy was very interesting. And I mentioned this to you because I think this is critical for you to heal your femininity, and for you to feel good. And when I say femininity, I mean to feel good about yourself, to feel proud, to feel deserving, to go for more, to attract more, to receive more. If you really take what I'm saying here, it will help you to receive more. So I didn't know how to not internalize all the wronging. I was told, even as a kid, like, I was criticized for how I would stand up, for how my hair was, for how I looked, for my weight, whether it was lower or it was bigger. I was criticized even because certain body parts look a certain way, or even bullied or mocked for how body parts looked in my body. I'm talking parents, I'm not talking kids in school. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, because I didn't know, I just never learned how to feel totally safe. And like, I would be loved for who I am. And what I realize is that, and what I've helped my clients do with this is, I've said this before, the number one thing that I've heard in almost all exploration calls that I've had with clients and even potential clients, and it's been a lot. I've been doing this for 9 years. I've dedicated over 25,000 hours studying this, in particular the feminine unconscious. And there's an insistent energy if you feel like there's something wrong with you, if you haven't attracted a partner, if you haven't achieved certain financial goal, if you have a little bit of debt, like, there's always something wrong with you, because they never taught you how to feel good and deserving on your own. You always have to achieve something on the external to be good enough. So that's coming from lack. That's not just my example of what I've lived. But we are not going to find peace by feeling like there's something wrong with us. And sometimes you act from that lack, and you're like, well, if I have a partner, if I get married, or if I'm going to look good enough, I'm going to be good enough. Always this energy of having to prove. So this thing of not feeling safe is critical, because I want you to understand that one of the most critical things that is going to help you attract your ideal love life, it's going to help you attract everything, basic success, everything, is feeling good about yourself, no matter what. Feeling good in the present moment, and feeling safe that you are going to attract love, a safe partnership, or like a business career or opportunities. Because what happened when I started to wake up to the awareness of people around me having to put me down, the implications for me about the CPTSD for me was that I didn't feel safe to do good. Okay, like I said, I was so bullied around me. Like I said, the example of when I won the highest grade and everybody else failed, and I was bullied and shamed for doing well, for enjoying myself, because it was something that was fun for me to do. After that, I started failing. It's not like I had that immediately post that, like, continuously. No, it was more around when my dad died years later on, where it started to intensify. And that's why I say it's CPTSD. Like, it's occurring, like, different things. And I started to feel unsafe because people would wrong me no matter what I did. And I just didn't realize that it was competition. Every single good thing that I did, it was put down either by my mother, by a family member, by a friend, always making me feel like I needed to reach a next goalpost and what I did was not good enough. I had to feel, number one, in healing my CPTSD, in feeling safe and knowing that I was good, that I am good, a person. That I remember vividly the day that I realized, when I was at the height of the CPTSD, that I realized, God, and I don't want this to cut off, God is not shaming me when I make a mistake. God doesn't want to punish me or ostracizes me when I make a mistake. God is not using my mistakes against me. And because that's the thing, internalizing, right? I was also projecting that out into even God. Like my relationship with my mother, my friends, quote unquote friends at the time, I was projecting that even onto God because I just didn't know any better. I want to say this because I was guided to say this. I have family members who would use the Bible to manipulate me, to make me feel bad. In fact, I would say that I have family members that were jealous of any blessing or good doing that I felt that I received from God. Like for them, in their insecurity or their narcissism, right? Even me receiving good things was a threat to them. Even my relationship with God was a threat to them. Okay? I'm not making my relationship small, like with bigger than other people. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying something as clean as your relationship with God. Like I had a parent trying to compete with that and try to make me look like, God wasn't going to love me because they wanted me to need them that much. So no thing is off limits for them. No thing, even God, okay? Even the dead, okay? Like I'm being real with you. Nothing is off limits. So I had to heal from that and realize that I'm a good person. You have no idea how much it took for me to realize I am a good person. I have good intentions. Because an element of the CPTSD is it's sometimes hard for you to connect back to your identity before the trauma happened. The continuous elements versus PTSD. Okay? From my recollection and from what I understand and what I've understood over years. And it was very real. My identity started to merge with the identity that I was surrounded with, but people were constantly telling me. I was basically put in a state of almost starvation, so I would need them. But of course, I refused and I rebelled, right? Like I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be a love coach, I wouldn't be doing this work, I wouldn't be helping women in regards to this. They thought they could break me, but they couldn't, There were moments where I thought they almost could, but they will never do that. So I've learned a lot from this experience because I needed to feel safe within myself, but I also needed to feel safe around people. I'm being honest with you, because once I started to see the manipulation tactics and how a lot of the world operates and how as women, we are taught in some shape or form. And if you follow me, you probably don't do this and you're like, but we've taught in some shape or form to put down another woman in order for us to feel good. Or in order for us to feel quote unquote safe. Because it wasn't just my parents, I realized that I also have friends that were competing and who would never give me credit or who liked me, who liked seeing me. It was a very interesting place. I had to shed from all of that. So I'm saying this because one of the things that the angels have said to me recently is, Nicole, we are on the you could say on the brink of a narcissistic society. I've even heard, this is what the angels have said, not as a medical professional, but I've also seen doctors refer that 1 out of 5 people have narcissistic tendencies, okay? And so we're not just talking about narcissism, but we could be talking about, so many different layers of trauma, but we could also be talking about toxic personalities. Okay. So you're a woman of good. You desire to have love. You desire to have peace. You desire to manifest powerfully love, abundance, prosperity, everything. And maybe you've been struggling with your self-image, with your goals, believing that things are possible, believing that you can have that faith. And I want you to know that it is possible, okay? And one of the things that I do recommend for you at its highest level is reprogramming your nervous system, okay? Because the sooner you feel safe from within inside, safe meaning it's safe for you to be yourself and to be loved. And these are two things that could be worked separately. Safe to be yourself, and it's safe for you to be loved, okay? It's also safe for you to trust others, because you could be saying things consciously, but your conscious mind only governs like 10% of what you're actually believing, thinking, and achieving. And love, and sometimes things that are higher than our upper ceiling that we allow ourselves to have because we're not feeling safe. And I'm saying this, you could be a millionaire, you could have 6 figures, you could make whatever, but there could be elements within you that you're not feeling safe to attract more of what's good, more of that bliss. So, because I work with really powerful women and I've seen it. Sometimes what drives women like us is the adrenaline to escape, to survive. But things start to crash and we have to go within and actually really lower the adrenaline, lower the energy that made us feel that we have to go about it alone, that we cannot trust other people, because you are meant to be around people who love you. So it's very interesting. Another thing that I had to heal with the PTSD, because one of the things that I want to say, I want to highlight, this is critical. Make sure that you follow with me on this. A woman's biggest superpower is liking herself and not feeling weak or competitive around another woman, feeling her worth. That translates to your goddess energy, that translates to sexiness, that translates to so many things, your peace. And you want to understand that people that have toxic personalities or narcissistic personalities, or people who are in deep fear about your confidence, they don't want you to feel good about yourself. This is one of the reasons why so many of us women grew up around people who try to make us feel like we were wrong, we were too loud, we were too much, we were not enough, made us compete, made us erode our sense of self to what they liked. So a key part of healing this, and this is what I had to do, is doing the reprogramming work on being liked. I had a deep craving to be liked. Plus, I have some Scorpio in me, so a part of me was rebellious. I was like, well, I remember when let's say I have PTSD, but not CPTSD yet. If somebody didn't like me, I just didn't care. I was very outspoken. What I would speak up, very confident. It was just a series of different things. After my dad passed away, I was betrayed by friends. I started to see a lot of narcissistic energies around me. And it was heartbreaking, because you have a choice to make energetically, and sometimes people don't even realize that they're making that choice. Some people, until they do, and then they just, So as I'm saying, I'm sharing with you how I've been healing from CPTSD in regards to my femininity and my self-value and my self-worth, and I hope that this helps you too. Powerful live. If it helps you, and please share it with all of your girlfriends. So they don't want you to like yourself, all right? I had to do the reprogramming nervous system work to feel safe, to like myself. You know why? When I actually started to learn more, because I started as a coach, and then I started to learn more about modalities to help the nervous system and integrate deeper stuff, because I started to see it. So many people had energies of feeling like they're wrong and they're bad and they're not good and there's competitiveness. I started to see that, how do I say this? I started to see that deeper work needed to be done. I don't want to lose my train of thought, because I've been doing really well so far. So, okay, so I started to see that, people were, there was so much competitiveness. Okay, I remember now, I had to feel safe to like myself, because when I started to do this work and I started to do it myself, do you know what was the first thing that came up for me? I had to do reprogramming work of feeling like people hated me. Hate. And it was weird, because as I was saying, I was around parents who had some level of self-loathing. I didn't know how to separate the two growing up because of the racism, lack of self-esteem, etc. And I'm going to be honest in saying that I have seen over the years an element of self-loathing within the feminine consciousness, of not liking yourself too, at any layer or degree. And I remember I had somebody who I was working with at the time told me that they saw that within me. And it was like, what? That makes no sense to me. But remember, we have different layers of influence. We have the aura, we have the nervous system, we have the unconscious, we even have the chakras, we have different layers of influence. And I honestly feel that what was happening is at a soul level, and even karma, because karma just simply means unhealed energies, a pattern that you haven't been learning. It doesn't mean that you've been bad or anything like that. It simply means something that you need to look at and heal from, grow, evolve from. And what I realized was I just didn't know how to separate my energies. Like, no, hey, like my parents don't like themselves, you know? No, but they were trying to make me not like myself. So I started to kind of fight back, but it was a pull there, and the lack of love and comments and positive comments that I received over time was affecting me. So I had to do the work. That was the first work that I had to do, and I had to be bold about it. One thing, positive, really beautiful thing that I learned from my dad, one of the best advices that he gave me before he passed, he said, Nicole, if you have to do something, you just do it. Because one of my teachers did tell him, Nicole tends to stress a lot, because I was taking on too much energy from other people, right? So that advice has stuck with me. So I knew I had to heal. If somebody tells me there was like self-loathing, I was like, all right, bet, like, what do I need to do? Because I'm a quick like action taker when it comes to my self-love and my healing. When somebody said to me, Nicole, you're probably going to repeat some of your parents' mistakes in love, I was like, what? It was like a bucket of cold water. And that's what led me to do this work now. Immediately, I started to take action. You could call it my flight response, but I was moving it into the goal that I wanted. There was a time then that I had to stop running. So I'm going to be honest. You cannot fully do this work in loving yourself and your femininity if you don't like yourself. You have to like yourself, and you also have to feel safe liking yourself and feeling safe that you're going to attract people who like you. And this, I don't know who this is for, but I'm getting, some of you have been bullied in a similar way as I have by parents or mother figures, etc. And you have to like yourself. Trust that you're going to attract somebody that likes you. But more above all, you have to have an energy of liking yourself. So that can be through your actions, the things that you do, beautify your space, etc. But there's deeper work that you can do in reprogramming that, because I promise you this, I have seen this in my life, how I went from people not liking me, making comments about how better they were about me, to how I started to attract men who liked me, and I started to feel confident, sexier in my body and my energy, just being more who I am and not feeling like I had to be like somebody else, was by doing this reprogramming work. And I clicked how many women don't feel good enough about their beauty, that they have to do 70,000 different things when it comes to their beauty. How many women, do you understand how much does the beauty industry make to help women, but sometimes to take advantage of women? Because there's both sides to this. I would be around girlfriends who would always criticize how they looked all of the time. But my hair looks horrible. Oh, don't mind my hair. Oh, don't mind this. Having to defend their beauty or how they look. So I'm going to be honest. So many women are not attracting a partner because they are in a space of hiding. So this is how we talk about the flight, freeze, fawn response. I have seen women, they feel like they're not attractive. And I believe all women are attractive, beautiful. And we have to train our eye to see the beauty and the difference. So, because I don't believe like, oh, it's just like, yeah, you can have like a charge with somebody, but all people are beautiful. You don't need to degrade people. You don't need to be rating people. None of that. Because it gives you a false sense of safety, but you do not have to rate people ever, okay? I understand having a sexual charge with somebody, but not degrading the other person. So that's not real safety. So with that being, and I'm saying it with love, really. So with that being said, I have seen this. And I can tell you there were moments where I was not feeling good about myself. Do you know that even though I wear this, a lot of people tell me and they assume that I'm hiding like hiding, and I'm not. It's just that I live in a really like humid weather, and that's what I prefer as a protective style for my hair. But I've seen people, you know, not attract a partner because deep down they're afraid of their parent, like their partner criticizing their beauty or degrading their beauty, or if they had like a dental procedure, they don't want the partner to know or like rate them, right? Because we live in a rating culture, or degrade them. So you go into hiding. There were times too where I felt like I had to protect my beauty or hide some elements of myself because I was having too much of being attacked, not being appreciated. You're in a hiding cocoon energetically, and that's why you're not attracting. So when I did this work on feeling beautiful, I promise you, it's like out of the blue, I started to attract more of the people who could see my beauty. Because I've actually seen this. People who with self-esteem, higher levels of self-esteem can see your value and your worth. But then you're worried about the people who don't, like, are not necessarily fully embodying it, and you're giving them a lot of your power and all of your power. Okay? The same thing applies to money, by the way, and finances. Like, as a woman, if you're not feeling safe to be on the spotlight or to be seen, because that's a fear, the fear of being seen that women have. It could be in money, it could be in love, it could be in all areas. You have to help your nervous system in many ways to feel like you're not internalizing the shaming culture when people project onto you shame. We see that on YouTube. We see that, you know, people in Hollywood, some stars cannot take it. If you want to be popular, if you want to reach goals, a key element that a lot of celebrities and people do, like people of influence and power, they train their nervous systems, they train their minds, they train their meridians to not internalize other people's comments and to live a loving, healthy life. Okay? So it's a part of the leadership that you have to do for yourself so that you are not competing for the attention of a man. Because believe me, the man that is not good for you can see that you're competing for them, and they thrive off of that. A narcissist wants you to compete for their attention. They want that juice from you. They want that, how do you call it? Their supply. Okay? They want to see you agitated over them. They want to see you hiding over them. Because while some people felt really timid about their self-esteem, others were like, well, if I can make myself look better and make them feel smaller and make them need me, then I'm good enough. Both sides, like two sides of a coin in a way, right? In a way, I don't want to be insensitive. So I hope that this resonates, because this is why I always stress it's safe to feel important. Like, so if you've been struggling with your self-esteem, if you feel like you're invisible, if men are not noticing, you might need to do reprogramming work on your nervous system. If you spent years without a partner, I'm talking 6 years, 10 years, more, I'm getting more than 2, and you don't feel like it, or you feel like you attract the partner every 3 or 4 or 2 years or more or something like that, and you don't feel like, why is it that I have such space? You might not feel totally safe, but it's coming from the past. So when you rewire your nervous system, that's why you start suddenly attracting, like, boom, it's just like breeze, because you are, number one, feeling good about yourself. Your safety is not reliant on their energy. You're not internalizing their stuff, right? And you feel good about your worth, and you feel good about dreaming and achieving and having faith and achieving it. Because I'm telling you, as women, if you are into sales, or one thing that I learned about sales is that women make a decision different than a man, okay? Women make a decision based on their sense of safety. But the issue is that we are in survival in our minds, in our energy, in our nervous system. If we feel like, well, I need to see proof before I can move forward. You feel like you need to see before you feel like you can, like, relax and show more of your body and stuff like that, or feel confident. No, you need to feel safe from within. You need to know that God, life source, loves you and that cherishes you and it helps you feel safe. Have that relationship with the universe, with yourself, and then knowing that you're attracting somebody trustworthy. Okay? And this is one of the main reasons why a lot of women could be having intimacy issues. This is why I don't recommend to be watching videos about, well, if the guy thinks you're his type, and worrying whether you're his type. None of that matters. Are you your type? Are you enjoying the season of you? Are you enjoying all seasons of you? And we can all grow. I'm not teaching perfection. We can all grow into this. I don't believe that healing all of this, then your partner is going to come in it is a learning process. The more you step into your deeper self-acceptance and worthiness around being loved, the more easily you attract partners who are a magnet for that and who see your value, men who value themselves. I really firmly believe that a man who loves and cherishes himself will never try to devalue a woman, okay? So be very mindful of, like, if you're worrying too much in your energy about people that are not the right fit for you. And if they had a hold over you because of trauma, because of abuse, because of mental traps and games that they want to play with you, and you just want to regulate yourself from anxious attachment to secure attachment, or avoidant to secure, is something that I can help you with. If you've experienced trauma as well, because this can really help you feel safe and secure from within. And it's not something actually that has to take you years and years and years. You can read the testimonials that I have on my website of clients who've experienced change who are working with me from a couple sessions to a couple months, and some clients for over like a year and a half, and it depends on the situation. But all of them, could tell you that they started to feel a change. They felt like depression lessened. They felt like they started to feel more like themselves again. And they start to become unbreakable. And that's the thing, so that you can live in peace. You can attract love. You can attract somebody that loves you, not a karmic partner or somebody who's trying to teach you or help you connect more with your self-love. So I have a program that I was guided to do by the angels called Faith, 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 that helps you rewire your nervous system, helps you regain faith in yourself, because part of the elements of the flows of manifestation has to do with you having faith in yourself, okay? And sometimes these people, like broken people, they try to take you and they try to make you feel bad about yourself, and you start losing hope that you can have things. So faith in yourself is critical. Then it's faith. The other faith is faith in love, because it's important. What has led me, I've never labeled myself to be a dating coach. If you pay attention, I've always said I'm a love and I'm a femininity coach. Why do I say that? Because love is the thing that guides me. There were moments, and this is one of the last things that I'm going to say, where after the heartbroken sense that I had after all the betrayal that I had experienced from people, I had to learn not internalizing other people's behaviors this way, okay? I started to connect with their energy and said, wait, and expect betrayal, right? Because I just felt like that was what was going to happen. But in reality, no, it was their energy. And the angels kept telling me when I started to understand more about this, because there was a time in my life where I was all alone and all I had was the help of God and the angels. And like I said, I offer both sides of this healing. You don't have to do one or like the other. But, even these programs that I focus on and that I've been focusing on for the last years, they're really focused on your nervous system. All that I want you to take, in regards to this is the love that life loves you, okay? God and your angels love you, and your belief loves you, all right? Because that was critical. I was reflecting back outward, like, how do I say this? I in my CPTSD state, I felt like all the love that I could have was the love that was shown to me. It was a love with no compliments. It was, you're annoying me. It was, you're too much. And it was, oh, what do you want? And people try to compete with me. And I had to separate that from God and from source and life. And I had tangible experiences when I actually felt the love of the angels, when I felt really alone. And I've always seen this, like when you're praying for something, God will reach out to other people that can help you and that can love you and that can treasure you. So before we're ending, if you're recently joining, we're discussing and sharing how to heal how I healed and I've been healing from CPTSD in regards to my femininity, my self-worth, and my value, an important conversation. So before this, because my battery could die, I want to say I had to heal from that because I was constantly expecting betrayal from people. Okay, constantly expecting betrayal. And I had to not internalize that pain. And the angels would tell me, Nicole, do not harden your heart. I would open up certain spiritual books like Florence Scovel's Shin book. I would open it up and it was a passage about a pharaoh who was hardening his heart. The angels kept sending me signs. What has kept me alive and well and moving forward has been the energy of love. Understanding that God doesn't betray me, okay? People act out in different ways. But God keeps me safe. And from there, I ask God to bring me with the right people who have the inner self-love and the agency within them to love others, to do well, to do good, to not hurt other people or want to hurt or externalize. And that's an honest prayer. And I feel like you can take on that. And the thing is, sometimes we pray, because I've seen clients say, I prayed, but my partner didn't show up. It's like, well, wait a minute. Sometimes you pray, and I'm not making myself special or anything, because it's like, it works through people. Like, I know God has worked through me for sure, because I work for God. This is something that I heard from the Miracle Medium, and I believe in it. So God works through people. So when you pray for something, God might put to you the right people, circumstances, or experiences that would allow you to have the thing, but you need to become a better listener and trust more. And that is critical, because years can pass you by, because sometimes people just want the prayer to land on their lap. And love is something that you have to, work at feeling good about it. And God is going to give you the opportunity. God is never going to betray you in regards to loving yourself more or in attracting love. Just be very vigilant in what you're receiving. So in faith, we're working in faith in yourself, faith in love, and faith in prosperity. And why is this important? Because we're releasing any resistance that's creating doubt in your spirit and in your soul. Because when you release it from your nervous system and we supercharge the positive feelings like of faith, of trust, of well-being, what happens is that your body is less stressed. Your body is more open to intuitive guidance, and you will meet more people because your energy is more open to either love, money, prosperity, or your well-being. And what this is going to do is that you're going to attract the right people, fated encounters, synchronicities. Some of you are going to meet your soulmate. I actually felt that really soon. Like I actually felt like some people could meet people like right after the training, like in Thanksgiving, which is new, which is what I picked up today. And some people might be people like by December, you can meet the one by December. And I don't say things like this, right? But I'm getting that it's going to happen. And it also said that you're going to triple like finances. You're going to get creative ideas or opportunities that are going to triple your finances, triple, because we are creating a positive mastermind of faith in your energy that is going to move things around for you. So, and you're going to get the ideas, but all that I ask you is that you act quickly. And there's nothing as beautiful as creating a mastermind of faith, right? Of people believing, and it also comes with coaching. The link is in my bio if you wanted to join Faith. If you join by Sunday, you will get a 15-minute intuitive message just for you on what you can do and what your angels have to say about how you can attract more love, prosperity, and abundance and for yourself before the year ends. I also have my program, my signature program called Attract Your Soulmate with Ease. And this program is special because it's a 5-month program where I'm helping you feel good about yourself, working on your femininity, feeling good, liking yourself, attracting more from that space of receiving more and plenty, and also attracting a soulmate that is ready, willing to love you. It comes with the coaching, and it comes with the clear work to support you in doing that. It's 5 months of work that's going to change your life. This is something that could easily be in 5 figures, but it's not. Okay, like it will help you shorten the time frame. And what I do is that I work on moving the needle, meaning I work on the deepest thing that's going to move things around so that you don't have to talk about your love life forever and you get attracted with ease. That is a 15-minute assessment call so that you can explore with me if it's the right fit, or if you wanted to work privately with me too, there's the option for that. That program is actually starting. We have the induction call on Wednesday. So I would love for you to join. The time is available for you to connect. And I sincerely hope that this video helped you and resonated with you. And please let me know in the comment section how it has helped you. And I would love it if you can share it also with your girlfriends. I hope that this connects. And I'm sending you much love and thank you for holding out the space for me to share this story. And I hope that it helps. Have a beautiful day.